Now, this next one, it can be a little bit confusing. Get into why I kind of at first found it a little bit confusing. But the chief brand officer for, I guess he's the brand of Sonic. Um, and this is great. His name is Ivo Gersovic or Gersovic, one of the two. But his first name is Ivo. Do you know who else has that first name?
Ivo Robotnik?
Yes, Robotnik or Eggman.
I don't know. I think the show's Eggman fits, but the video game's Robotnik just sounds more threatening.
It does. It really does. But anyway, so he was quoted as saying, "We are really focused on turning Sonic into an entertainment icon, not just a games icon. We want to go across all platforms and elevate his status even further, which explains why we are doing so much. Sega is really, as of this last year, putting a huge emphasis on quality." And one of the things they're doing is they're making a CG live action blended based movie. Um, and they're basically wanting to go beyond um, what Sonic currently is, just basically a games property. And he used to be, back in his Genesis heyday, he had I want to so the Archie comic adventure series that is still going.
I think it's one of the longest going comics.
It's the longest video game character based comics. Um, can't I don't even remember where I had them, but I think the earliest one that I actually have is like issue number 3. It's beat up though. um, and I got a few of them, a lot of them digitally, a couple years ago, and I could probably go back and catch up again and get some reading in. But those have always, for the most part, always been really good. The artwork has kind of fluctuated, but that has never stopped. But he also had two cartoon series out at the same time. The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which was really bad. Um, the animation wasn't terrible, but just the show was just very Looney Tunes based and didn't make a whole lot of sense. And I don't know what they were trying to do with it.
Yeah.
And then the second show, which everyone calls Sad I Am, was a more serious take on Sonic. They had introduced a whole bunch of characters which are actually still in the Archie series. And they actually developed that when only the first game was out. And I think they may have had some concept art for Tails, and that was it. And that is an excellent show. I've got the series on DVD. So they've done this before with Sonic. They have, he's definitely a media crossing character. He's not necessarily locked down to video games. So it seems like this is nothing new. They're just wanting to go maybe even further this time around. I mean, he's definitely. I mean, they did a. I want to say they did an anime kind of movie that was not very good at all, with Sonic, but can't really consider that a movie or a good one. I wouldn't count it. They had that, and with this movie, hopefully it's going to be good.
I don't know. I think I looked down and I saw, yeah, a blend of CG and live action. Live action kind of scares me.
Also,
I think it's just because when I was a kid, I was kind of at like the peak of like cartoons and animation back in like early 2000s. I feel like that was the era of like some of the best cartoons that came out, and a lot of cartoons nowadays are kind of like eh. And then a lot of movies that are based on cartoons from like the early 2000s are just like continuing series. I just don't like them as much. Like the Transformers series, like I thought it was a cool idea. Um,
Hmm.
and I want to. The first one wasn't bad. The animation for the robots was cool. Um, Michael Bay knows how to do explosions pretty well, especially with giant robots. So the fight scenes were pretty cool. And then as he continued, it was just kind of like, eh. And then I recently saw the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at like a retreat, and then I saw the second one a couple weeks ago with a buddy of mine for his birthday. And I was just watching it, and I was just like, I don't like it. It doesn't feel the same. Because I watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show when it was back in like 2002, 2003 on like, what was it, like Fox, I want to say? Fox Kids.
Do they not have pupils? Or they just have the white eyes
Yeah.
in that series? Okay, I know which one you mean.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite series. And then like that kind of got onto like Turtles in Time or something. It was like year 22, 25 or something. I don't know. That was pretty cool. And then like I don't know, just seeing like live action versions of these cartoons that I used to watch is like they're so much better in the cartoon form that when you make them live action, it's kind of like And then you also have to like go with like pop culture, but then sometimes they go like too overboard with pop culture, and it's just kind of
Yeah.
like it's too much. Like hold back.
It seems like with movies that go back to older properties, it seems like it's honestly, there's no consistently good or bad ones. It just seems like some turn out really good, some turn out really bad. Like the Chipmunks movies. Um,
Yep,
those are fairly bad.
they're pretty bad.
Um, I know that Gem of the Holograms was absolutely terrible, according to anyone who bothered to show up to see it. Um, and whether you can have your opinion on the Transformers movies, they are successful. And I mean, if they weren't, they wouldn't be making number 5
I
right
think
now.
5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah, they've come out with 4. So,
Yeah, and of
um,
course it could be like a generational thing. Like
and that's the thing. See, that's kind of what gives me a little bit of hope for this movie is, Sonic is not really generational. I mean, he like, kids today know who Sonic is. I see Sonic on T-shirts of 3-year-olds today, and I ask them like, "Hey, do you know who's on your shirt?" And they say Sonic. He runs fast, and they know about the character. They like the character. Sega, we love the character. We just want you to do right by him. Um, and just one of the things about Sonic is don't take him all that seriously. Like, understand that, you have an anthropomorphic hedgehog who runs fast. It's ridiculous. Like, let's not try to make it, super melodramatic. And even in other things that if they're going to go down this route of having him in, movies, TV shows, um, I can't even think of anything else that he could show up in music. Please
no.
no.
Well, some of the soundtracks from Sonic games have been
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know.
Sonic the Hedgehog comes out with new track.
No,
Gotta go fast.
you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the Turtles it's either Out of Our Shells or Out of Their Shells tour, where they were wearing like clothes kind of, and they had instruments, and they literally did not have their shells on their back. You do know that a turtle dies without a shell. It's part of its. So many things wrong with that. But yeah. So I think Sega could do it. I just hope that they handle it right.
Yeah.
Like, but honestly, I don't have a problem with the idea of him being more of an entertainment icon than anything else. He's always going to be known mainly for video games. I don't think that should change. Um, but I do want to see more like video game based movies. I really want Nintendo to start producing theirs. If that Zelda Netflix series is going to happen, like I really hope that it does. I hope that's not just a rumor. I think that there's a lot that you can do with these characters as far as a cinematic story goes, not just video games. Nothing's going to happen to the video games that we have. Like, it's not going to make Legend of Zelda or Mario or Sonic any worse. It's just going to be another, dimension of the franchise. There's room
Yeah.
for it.